Mr. Bennett called about an appointment he had at 2 this afternoon that he won't be able to keep.
Oh, Bennett. Oh, he was coming for a checkup. Did he reschedule?
Yes, he rescheduled for next week, I think Tuesday morning.
Ah, good. Anything else?
And Mrs. Friedman called about a prescription that you prescribed for her last week, and the druggist won't fill it without first checking with you. Here is her record.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, that was about the sinuses. Well, we shouldn't have any trouble refilling that. I'll give him a call.
Oh, yeah, well, he's at Smith's drugstore. Here's his name and phone number. And that's it.
The looks of this, you've been on the phone most of the morning.
Well, I have, but I haven't been able to get in touch with Carla.
Oh, about that problem with Jean last night.
Yeah, Gene rushed in and said and just snatched Carl up and said he had to leave in a hurry.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing serious.
Yeah, I'll know for sure before the day is out. Tell me, I meant to ask you about that Preston the Carpenter's Chesterfield project. Have you thought any more on the subject? We'll talk later. Come in.
Dr. Phillips?
Preston, come in.
Look, I know we had an 11:30 appointment. I'm afraid I'm a few minutes late.
Oh, no problem. Ion's been keeping me busy, haven't you?
We can't have any idle hands in here.
Please, sit down.
Thank you, thank you. Well, have you reached a decision?
I think so.
Are you going to handle the relocation project?
Well, I'm willing to take this over, Preston, but only under certain conditions.
Such as?
I'm going to need a few promises from you.
Name them. If I can grant them, then we'll do business.
Mom, what is it? What's this all about?
Look, Peter, if you don't mind, I'd just rather not talk about it right now. I just need a little time to calm down.
Hey, come on. We're buddies, aren't we? You can talk to me, can't you?
No, I mean it. Look, by a superhuman effort, I have managed to contain all my rage for almost 24 hours, and I don't want to blow it now, so don't get me started again.
I see. You're not practicing what you preach, Mom.
How so?
How many times you told me it's not good to keep my feelings bottled up inside? Now, anger is a legitimate reaction and an emotion. And to accept it and express that, it's good for your mental health. Quote, unquote.
Well, it's always good for a mother to hear that at least some of what she's tried to teach her children has rubbed off on them. Even if it's hard for her right now.
Well, hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You have an early lunch or something?
Nope, on my way to an appointment. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Stacy. Do you have time for a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. Actually, I was hoping that Dad would be here. Aren't you two supposed to be having lunch?
Yes, but he had a meeting this morning. He didn't think he'd be able to join me before 1.
Oh. Well, I had some good news to tell him, but it'll wait.
Oh, please tell us, Stacy. Mom could use all the good news she can get.
Peter, please.
Is something wrong?
Just something I've heard at the hospital yesterday.
Mom, you might as well get it off your chest.
I'm probably overreacting. There was a decision made yesterday that has affected me very personally. A job I was supposed to get fell through.
You're not talking about that rape crisis center you're organizing, are you?
Was organizing. The plans have changed. They have dropped the idea.
Oh, there's not going to be a rape crisis center?
Why not? I thought they had the money for that.
Oh, they've got the money all right. It's that they've decided that Kingsley needs a sports medical center before it needs a rape crisis center. That's where the money is going instead.
A sports medicine center. What possible need would there be for that in Kingsley?
Yeah, and who's they? Who made that decision?
Lester and the hospital board.
Wait a minute. Who are some of the members of that board?
Oh, let's see. There's Bob Miller, Millicent Woodward.
And Hugh Wainwright.
Yes, he is the one who told me of the decision. He and Lester.
Well, why? What reason did they give you?
Oh, Mr. Wainwright didn't give me any reason at all, other than that Kingsley needs to provide funds for this sort of thing.
Meaning a sports medicine center.
Mm-hmm. The way he described it, it will be immense. Much more expensive than a rape crisis center, and in my opinion, much less practical. But of course, where heavyweights like Hugh Wainwright are concerned, my opinion doesn't count very much.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know how much that meant to you.
I am too, Terry. Really
Well.
sorry.
It's just water under the bridge now.
Maybe not.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just have a hunch about something. I'll let you know if it turns out to be true. Look, I've got an appointment I'm going to be late for. Gotta run.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What did she mean by that?
Yes, Sharon. Who? Yes, that's okay. Send her in.
Hi, Ben. How are you? I hope you forgive me for popping in like this without calling. I know how busy you are, but I promise I won't stay but a couple minutes.
No, that's okay. It's very good to see you, Nancy. Come on in.
Oh, okay.
Please have a seat over there. Can I get you something?
No, thank you. So, how are you getting on without Lori?
I'm managing so far.
A life of TV dinners, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you miss her, though. When's she coming back?
We haven't set a definite date.
Oh, really? Geez, not many husbands would be so understanding of their wife just taking off and leaving them like that, fending for themselves.
She didn't run off. It's been quite a while since she's had a vacation, and she deserves one.
Oh, but without you, I would think you deserve a vacation, too.
Nancy, I haven't been here at the Institute long enough to warrant my going off on an extended vacation.
Well, next time you speak to her, you just say that I said that I hope she doesn't stay away that long, that you start to enjoy your bachelor status. That kind of thing leads to trouble, you know.
Nancy, was there some special reason for dropping by? I mean, is there something I can do for you?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of questions I wanted to ask you.
Please.
Well, Ben, you know how I really don't like to pry. I mean, I feel that people's business is really their own. But I've got to know, what on earth is going on between you and Jean?
What's going on between me and Jean?
Come on, Ben, you and I both know there's a problem.
Hold on, just back up here, Nancy. I really don't know what you're talking about.
Ben, Jean came to the house to pick up Carla yesterday, and he was in an absolute rage, and it was directed at you. Something about an article he's writing?
Yeah, he must still be upset about the other day.
Oh, so then there is a falling out.
Yeah. He came over here questioning me about some former patients of the Institute who have committed suicide.
Now, haven't there been 3 or 4, and they're all women?
Yes, but the police dropped their investigation each time, Nancy. And Jean couldn't find anything either. Now, for some reason, he insists there's some sort of connection here.
A connection between the suicides?
Yes. Which is absurd, and I told him that. Now, we both got a little hot under the collar, and I guess he just hasn't simmered down yet. I know I have.
Ben, does Dr. Vanessa Fazan fit into this in any way?
No. Although Jean tried to convince me that she knew something about these suicides. You see, in a way, I don't blame Jean for what he's doing. I mean, it is his job. His job depends on digging up a story, but we both know how pig-headed he can be when he thinks he's onto one.
Well, Ben, I mean, the way he was carrying on, I thought it was a lot more serious than that.
Nancy, don't misunderstand me. As a friend, Jean is the best. I really like him. But as a reporter, well, let me just say that I have very little respect for anyone who makes wild accusations without any proof to back them up.
Ben, do you know Dr. Fazan?
Slightly. I met her through Brian Graham.
What do you think of her?
At this point, she's something of a mystery. But I don't believe what Jean said about her. But why don't you tell me? I think you know her better than I do. What do you think of her?
Oh, I think she's outstanding. I mean, she has done a marvelous thing in this community with Domi, and I can see how people would be resentful of her. I mean, especially someone like Jean, who's inclined to judge. She's a very successful woman.
Human nature, I guess. But Gene is doing his job.
So you're still friends? I mean, you wouldn't do anything to betray her confidence or anything, would you?
Nancy, I would never betray a friend.
Well, look, I better let you get back to work, right? And it's getting late. When you speak to Lori, give her my love, okay? I'll see you soon, Ben. Bye-bye.
Look, I know you have things to do, and so do I, so I'll make this short and sweet. What I need from you is a personal safeguard.
Safeguard? I don't understand.
Well, if you know anything about what's happened to me over the last couple of years, you'd know that, well, I'm a little skittish, a little wary where public opinion is concerned.
Are you referring to your wife's death?
Yes, when Kate was murdered, I was judged guilty without a trial. I had to listen to people tell me that I had murdered a woman who I had loved deeply for 30 years. I know what happens when the tide of public opinion goes against a man. All semblance of fairness, objectivity, the belief that a man is innocent until proven guilty, all that's swept away.
You don't want to be the fall guy again.
Exactly.
That's understandable. Well, what is it you want?
You know those jobs we talked about the other day at the meeting?
The ones we're offering to the people that we relocate.
Yes. I want the promise of those jobs on paper, in the form of a written guarantee from you to me and witnessed by a third party. In other words, I want a legal and binding document.
Oh, that's not impossible. We could take care of that right now. We go over to my lawyer's office. You bring along whoever it is that you want to be witness, and we'll get it done. Will that be satisfactory?
Very, and thank you very much. I believe in this project, Preston, and I want to help in any way that I can.
I assume this means that you accept responsibility for the relocation project.
Yes, I guess that's what it means.
Fine. We've got ourselves a deal.
Concluding with paragraphs 7 and 9 from page 24 of proposed items from Milner Plastics Incorporated. Close quotes, period. Yeah? Gil Prescott? No, he doesn't need an appointment. Just send him in. Right. Well, good morning, Gil.
It isn't a good morning for all of us.
What, a problem down at the site? You were supposed to start to clear that vacant lot today, right?
We were supposed to start at 8 o'clock this morning, yes.
But what happened?
I thought you and Preston took care of all the paperwork at the county office.
We did.
Not according to the utility company. The access road to our site goes through property that's owned by the gas and electric company.
Well, I'm aware of that, but you were supposed to be able to use it as a clearance.
I had a full crew out there this morning with equipment, and some field representative wouldn't let us across until a clerk could find your request.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me call down there right now and get it straightened out.
I already took care of it. I sent my foreman over to personally supervise the search. They had it, but it was a day late.
Huh.
I'm going to take up the time with that field representative.
Well, will they be able to compensate you for that?
I doubt it. But I'll yell a lot, and they'll treat us better next time.
But are the men working now?
Yeah, they started about 10:30.
Well, look, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I thought I was on top of all of that.
Well, you are. Technically, it is their problem. They had it. I'm sorry. I don't need to take it out on you, but with all the problems you've got.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you know, Courtney and Tina.
Miss Phillips?
Mr. Wainwright, please sit down.
I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Oh, no, not at all. And I really appreciate your taking the time to give me this interview.
Always glad to meet with the press. And now, with the campaign about to take off, I appreciate every opportunity I can get to let the public know where I stand on the issues.
Well, how do you feel about this election? It's basically just a repeat of last year's. What do you think your chances are of unseating Lee Carruthers?
Well, I don't anticipate any problems at all. But that's the fun of politics. Until that last vote is counted, you can't start packing your bags.
Well, Harry Truman certainly proved that, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
But what about your platform, Mr. Wainwright? Can you give me some more specifics on that?
Well, I have a few ideas up my sleeve that I think will fire the imagination of the voters and get this town back in business again.
Such as?
Such as bringing a professional sports team to Kingsley.
A professional sports team? Really? Well, please, tell me more.
Tina? Tina Brubaker? What makes you think I'd have problems with Tina Brubaker?
Oh, well, I was just guessing. Since you were friends with her, and I know that she's close with your wife, I just guessed that there would be a problem.
Yeah, I guess, a little, you know.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up. It's really none of my business.
No, actually, I'm glad you did. Because I've been wondering. I've seen you over at Tina's a couple times, and I was wondering if you two...
Me and Tina? Nah, we just play tennis. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she is.
What about you and Tina?
Oh, well, Tina's a very good friend. She's been there when I needed someone to talk to. As a matter of fact, when I first moved to Kingsley, aside from Courtney, the only other person I knew was her Uncle Charles. Well, Courtney introduced me to Tina, and we've talked on a number of occasions about my problems. Problems with Courtney, of course.
Yeah. She's a good listener.
Yeah, she is. She's been a great help with some of the problems I've had.
With Courtney?
Yeah.
How is that going, by the way?
Well, she's not decided to drop the annulment, if that's what you mean, but, well, I think we stand a good chance of winning this case.
Thanks to Tina.
In part, yes.
Oh, good. Well, hey, I plan on playing some racquetball this afternoon and getting a steak a little later. You want to join me?
Racquetball?
Yeah. It's my theory that a good exercise helps a guy forget his problems.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's probably just what I need. Thanks a lot.
Sure. I'll see you about 4 then, huh?
Great, I'll be ready.
Okay.
Young man, I had me such a good day, I stopped by and bought you your favorite candy bar.
Well, thanks. But Preston, like I said, Gil was here earlier. It seems he had a problem with utility property. Some field rep wouldn't allow him the access because there was a foul-up in the paperwork.
Oh, well, did you clear it up?
Well, I didn't have to. Gil did, but he was very upset. And although he let us off the hook, I got the feeling that he didn't think we'd done our work.
I hope you straightened him out.
Oh, yeah, I think I did. He's back down at the site now.
Maybe I ought to go down there, huh?
Well, I don't really think that's necessary. Gil will take care of it. He'll do a good job.
You have an awful lot of confidence in him, huh?
Yeah. I am confident in him. I think he's a good man and a solid professional.
I agree. I like him too, but go gently. I mean, you've only known him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's with the candy? What's the celebration?
Ah, I have just returned from the clinic.
And?
And Dave Phillips has agreed to handle the relocation project.
Good.
Good. I thought that would elicit a little more enthusiasm. I mean, after all, he is a key to all of this.
Well, I am pleased. Really, I am.
You worried about the hearing tomorrow?
Well, I suppose I am a little bit, yeah.
Say, I tell you what, look. Why don't we work a little harder, get everything all cleared up, take a late lunch, and go play a round of golf, huh?
Oh, thanks, Preston, but I'm already booked. I told Gil we'd get together later and play some racquetball and have a steak.
You are getting very friendly with him.
Now, you make that sound like a criticism.
Well, maybe it is. A little friendly advice, huh? Business friendships and personal friendships are not to be confused. you're going to have to learn to distinguish between the two, because if you don't, you could end up being hurt or used or both. So, just be very careful, huh?
Professional football team. But isn't that biting off more than a town the size of Kingsley can chew?
Oh, no, I don't think so. As you probably know, Miss Phillips, professional football has been expanding over the last several years. More teams, more games, greater attendance, and that sort of expansion allows for the franchising of a club, even in a moderately sized city such as this.
But to obtain one of those franchises...
Requires some renovation, some financial outlay, the revamping of the Coliseum, of course, and the establishment of a sports medical wing on the hospital. But all of this, in the long run, is money well spent.
You're assuming, of course, that the voters will be in favor of all this.
Oh, I'm very confident of that. A professional football franchise is a feather in any city's cap. It generates income. Actually, Miss Phillips, what I've told you isn't generally known. In fact, I'm giving you an exclusive. I hope you appreciate it.
Oh, I do. I do, Mr. Wainwright. More than you'll ever know.